Okay, episode 32 of Out of the Box podcast. We have our first internal team member guest, and it's kind of fitting because I think you're maybe one of three of our avid listeners from the team. Also, you're the first person to suggest an internal guest. So today we're joined with Connor, our lead creative strategist. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Connor. I direct, edit, script, plan, film, all my ads anyway for Shirt in a Box across like football, rugby, UK and America.
And primarily for Meta.
Yeah, we are exploring all the other platforms potentially in the future, but at the minute it's all Meta, Instagram, Facebook.
And how long have you been at Shirt in a Box for?
A year and a few months. At the end of 2024 was
a year and 4 months?
Yeah.
Pretty good going. And you were our first creative hire.
Yeah, that's mad to say.
Yeah, it's mad in that period of time how much kind of meta marketing, but also I guess your role has evolved. You know, when you first came in, I think it was like with the brief of we have an agency making ads, and we were like, we want to kind of stop doing that and make our own ads. And then there's been so much that's changed in between.
Yeah, I mean, there was like, 4 or 5 employees at that point when I started?
Yeah, it was.
It was all
4,
around,
was it?
It was all around like one big set of desks, and it was right in the middle of Black Friday at Christmas time when I started.
Yeah,
so
not a great time to
start. It was
start.
a crazy time to start, but throwing the deep end kind of thing. And then here we are, got like 11, 12 employees now, so it's really grown.
Yeah, from when you came in, so it was like we just pivoted away from an agency. Can you remember like what the first kind of brief was?
Not really. I think you were so busy at the time, just sorting out like, you know, Christmas market, Black Fridays. You were like kind of just learning the ropes of. I went from like a social media heavy job to like all in on ads, so it was kind of start just learning what Facebook ads were, how they worked, how to script them, how to make them. I think static ads were some of the first ones I was doing because it was like sales time, so it's just like trying to
make
figure
Black
out
Friday and Christmas
Canva,
ads.
just trying to
Like
make
very
some.
offer heavy ads.
Yeah, and then there was some footage recorded with another creator, and I think Dave was here at the time. He just sent me the footage and was like, edit it together, and you were giving me some feedback. And then I think maybe it was before Christmas or after, I started shooting with like your mate Mihal. I think that was one of the first shoots I remember.
Yeah, that
doing.
was like the gym promotional shoot.
Yeah.
So we had like the concept of, it was like new year, new you, new shirt.
Yeah.
I still think that's a good concept. I think we were just too busy. We didn't get it done this year. But yeah, that was like the first, was that your first UGC shoot with us?
I think so. And then after that, I started doing ones like that American guy, TJ and stuff. And I remember being so nervous that first shoot doing it at my house and like some random person's coming over and you're like fully directing a shoot. But I was like, this is awesome. Just like being behind the camera and making stuff. It was class.
And when I reflect on that, it's mad how far that's changed from now. We do like multiple shoots a month. We would do shoots ourselves, but also we would have people from outside film themselves and then edit and script and write that. Back then I feel like it was like one new type of like video, maybe actor each month.
I think like the quantity has just scaled up massively and the expectations.
Yeah.
Like coming in, it was like, we're still figuring this out. It was kind of like one big project at a time, and it felt like so big because it was like, you know, filming everything myself, editing it all, and then putting it out there. Whereas now, like, I gotta do that, and I've got to manage like ones externally. So like sending off scripts, and you do lose that control. You're not behind the camera. You're hoping they're gonna make it, but then you're also getting creative ideas that you might not have thought of, or you're looking for their way of seeing the product and what they can bring to the ads as well. So, and it saves you having to do it yourself all the time too, which is cool.
Yeah, and that's been a big evolution. What does a week look like for you?
It changes all the time. I mean, I try to structure my week just to give myself some structure, but usually like the start of the week, we're reviewing how the ads are done over the weekend. So we tend to post them on a Wednesday, and then because that kind of gives you the best, it gives them time to learn, and then they perform best on the weekend when everyone's off work and buying anyway. So we usually check in and see how have the ads performed, and then it's kind of planning ahead for the week. I tend to do a lot of my emails and emailing creators and all that kind of stuff on a Monday. And then Tuesday I start doing my script writing things in advance, ideas, whatever. And then Wednesday's upload day. And then sort of the end of the week's the more like the editing and the filming, the Thursdays and Fridays. I'm sure you know the same, like some weeks you'll drop everything to like one big project's come in, or you need to like quickly solve a problem. And I think it's hard to balance the sort of doing the creative tasks versus the admin stuff, and sort of, you know, negotiating with creators, going over revisions, they can send in stuff at any time, and you've got to manage that and don't annoy them as well. So
yeah,
it's not as simple as just like back when I started, when it was just my own projects and I'm just like working away at them. Like now it's kind of a varied role.
Yeah, because at any one time you could be balancing about 10 different ideas, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Which is mad, yeah. I'm sure the mental load on that isn't easy. How do you think, out of that week, like what part of it is the most important? Is it the sitting down and doing the admin and checking the results, or is it the ideation, the script writing? Like what for you is the most important part of the creative process?
It's not an easy answer. I would say like the easy answer is that's a combination of all, but like I think there's like a data answer and a creative answer for me. So the data answer would be that the review and the sort of checking in on the stats and how on the sort of performance side of things is so key, because I could make one in my head is the best ad ever, but then you put it out to the public and they just don't react to it. And I think we talk about that a lot internally. Like we make ideas and we try to guess maybe how a dad would react to this or how general football fans react to this, and you don't really know until you put it live. There's some ads you think this is gonna go mad and then it doesn't, and then there's ones that you've maybe done on a whim or just done really quickly that actually work really well. So we try to do a variation of stuff to kind of give ourselves the best chance at that. But taking all that data then just sort of helps me then plan future projects and writing the scripts and all that kind of stuff. But the creative answer I would say is actually like the directing, and from a video standpoint, like the directing and the filming. Well, for internal projects, but like stuff that you can control yourself. If you can do the groundwork and sort of the preparation, the production and the filming side of things, it gives you less work to do everything else. You can have the best editor, but if the initial filming or the initial video isn't good,
it's hard for them to like dress that up. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
You can't polish a turd.
Yeah.
You know? I think you can definitely make something that's not amazing into a better ad. It can still work.
It's interesting to hear that. As we've touched on, we've gone on this journey. So started off when we came in, we had an agency and I think they were doing like 10 videos. Then you came in, you started doing basically like one video project and then maybe like some statics, like ugly ads, but also just like Canva ads as well. And then as we've progressed over time, we've added on, now you're up to balancing like 10 different projects, a mix between like UGC, which we touched on, but we also do ugly ads, we do podcasts, now celebrity stuff like sketches. There's quite a mix in there. Where do you think creative goes in the next 1 year?
I mean, it's hard to ignore AI. Like, it's just going nuts a minute. I think in terms of static ads, that's just going to keep blowing up and getting better and better. Like we've seen it already with all these YouTube videos talking about what, Banana Pro can do, Higgsfield, all these agents. I don't know if there's definitely ones, it's a lot of work at the minute to sort of prompt it and make sure it's right. I think in terms of scale and be able to just test ideas, that's just where it's going to keep going, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger in terms of the A/B testing of that and just putting that out there. So I wonder how like graphic designers are reacting to that in terms of like something that takes them a long time to do can be done by an agent so much faster. From a marketing standpoint, that's going to be so cost efficient. But from video, interesting, I think it's going to be cycles. There's definitely this new toy syndrome you talk about. Everyone wants to try this AI stuff and test it and it's working. Yeah, I think it could also go back into the cycle of like people still want the actual authentic human made content. It's hard to know. As we know, it changes all the time. We just have to kind of keep looking at what's working, what's doing well. But I think it's interesting because even stuff we just do ourselves, we do a mix of camera stuff and iPhone stuff and whatever, and a lot of times the iPhone stuff just works as well as the camera stuff. So I think for me, it's not about like everyone's going to the high production stuff. It's going to just be constant marketing and agencies of now building this absolute mad varied spectrum of content. And I think that's what's gonna, because it naturally goes with the data, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think as we evolve, yes, people are going to start making more AI creative. So whether that be like static ads or whether that be also video like cartoon ads as a result of AI prompting. But I think ultimately that will still make up only like a small percentage of creative, because I think the diversity, which we touched on, like the UGC and the static, but then you've got podcast ads, you've got founder ads. I think you still will have that diversity. I think AI will probably still only make up maybe 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense, and this is just from my own point of view, that like you go all in on like AI ads right now. I think that is shiny new toy syndrome.
Yeah.
I think the basics of understanding your customer and understanding the angles is what you can carry through to that new format when it does present. That's all my questions. Pretty quick one. How have you found your first out of the box podcast?
Interesting. It's very marketing focused. I think it's interesting, like in terms of what the question you asked as well. I think for me as a creative, I hope that there's still that like human element in ads looking forward in a year, and I hope it doesn't just become very like robotic, because you kind of want that purpose of like, why do I want to get up and make stuff? And I think that's hard. Sometimes it is sales heavy, like that's just the business, but like you've got to balance ideas and enjoyment of it and passion as well as like knowing what works.
Yeah.
That's my goals anyway.
Very good. Thank you for coming on. We'll maybe do more guest episodes down the line. Get the other Connor on.
Yeah.
Who's our ops guy. Maybe get on the claw machine man that is Ross, because I talk about them a lot as well. So thanks all for watching.